Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the DX9 Mini 01A Vasily, or they also call it Doubleclouder. And this is their finely painted version. Now, I missed out on the first version, and I didn't pre-order it in time. She didn't know it was up for pre-order at the time. And so when this one came up, I just thought it was a reissue, realizing now that it does have paint on it, which is quite interesting. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, I did get this. It shows the amount of link down below where you can get yours. But let's get in taking a look at this double dealer from DX9 in Legend Scale. Coming up. Here's the box. It's nothing to speak of. Very simple and plain. But I got to tell you, just looking at it and seeing as how I just reviewed this and looking at this, they feel so similar in style. And they're different companies. RTO1. Is it maybe just they have the same packaging creators create their stuff? I don't know. Because this looks almost identical to what's going on with another company at the same exact time. Just the whole exact way it's set up. It feels so similar. Strange, huh? Anyway, packaging. Alright, so here he is out of the packaging and looking pretty good. I have to admit that I like the paint on it. In fact, it's getting fingerprints too. I like the fact that it is painted. You can see the shine and the sheen and the gleam. And this starts to make me wonder, are they going to do this with all their other figures, all their other characters? I don't know. I really just don't know. But I like this. This is not right out of the gate, but second release. And I would like all my figures to have this level of paint. And I think it's even the same price as the first release. There it is on the back. As you can see, pretty much every surface is painted. It's not even like 10% painted. It's like 90% painted. It's really impressive that they painted so much of this guy. And he looks good too. So I do like the design. I do hear he is Magic Square influenced and there's a partnership. So I kind of understand all that. But yeah, looking really good. Now he does have this cannon up here. And it does have articulation on it, which is cool, and it can move around. So that looks really good. And then the other part of this giant missile that, when you go into the alt mode, splits off as a gun for him, which that's kind of cool too. But yeah, it's interesting that they're making this figure, them giving us characters that we don't have. There's also these little Power Masters that it comes with, which is awesome too, which I don't, my G1 one, I think this clips back here or something. My G1 one is not complete, so it's kind of interesting to get to mess with all this stuff, seeing as how my G1 one isn't complete. I've seen people clip them on the back there like that, and that works. And of course, he has one in his abdomen area that tabs into there, and it's painted too. I think both of these are all of these ones here are painted too. There's paint even on these little guys, so that's really cool. And so, with all of that, man, this is a nice looking figure, paint all over the place. Let's get into some articulation. See, head, the typical ball joint, up and down, side to side, all of that. We already saw articulation on that thing. Shoulder goes out to all there, staying alive. Flip it around, and bicep swivel right here, double jointed on that, and then the hand just side to side. Really no back and forth. Now you can do a lot with the waist. You just have to untab it. So you could get the ab crunch as far as you want with it, and then of course side to side. But when you put this little engine piece in here, it does limit the amount of articulation you can do. Just depends on what look you're going for. Then you do have these hiding hip flaps. Let's see on this side, hiding hip flaps, which I like. I mean, it's modern engineering, modern technology. You didn't see that on their older Legends. It only goes that far to the side and nothing to the back, which sucks, but that's not too bad. It's got quite a bit of movement in that thigh double joint here. He's double dealing a knee. Right, double dealing that knee of his. And then down here at the feet's kind of independent toes. It's really toe articulation is independent moving toe. But yeah, pretty much everything you need. There's a lot going on with this figure. I mean, a lot of moving parts. a lot of pieces on this guy, and maybe too many, but it still looks really good. I like the look of the figure and all the articulation you probably need. For comparison, let's compare him to the G1. I don't have any parts for my G1, just kind of like a bare bones figure that I just happen to have, so why not show them? But yeah, a major improvement over the original, definitely. Sometimes Legends figures are the same size as the vintage figures, but the scale was all over the place with that, so definitely not happening here. Here he is next to their Chrome Dome, their Michael Murphy, which does not have any of the paint on it like this. It's mostly just, it doesn't have this kind of glimmer. I'm not getting the glimmer and shimmer on it this angle. Anyway, it's not painted. It's mostly bare bones plastic. Will we get this one repainted? I don't know. Will any of this other stuff come out with finally paint like this? I'm not really sure. Here's how he stacks up against a few other of the Magic Square team. We've got Trailbreaker, Ironhide, and then a painted Prime from Magic Square. And I gotta say, I feel like it's completely different paint. This is like a metallic kind of paint. This is not exactly metallic paint. It's just a straightforward paint. And there it is. Getting into transformation, the transformation on this guy is a little bit involved, going either direction. But let's get this put back together here, like that. And have that ready to go on the side. And then start with hands. Fold them in. Get that taken care of. And then some strange stuff we're going to do with this guy. We are going to open up the backpack, get the wings out. And so we can get them out of the way here. So we're going to be doing a few weird things with this. We do have to slide the shoulders back. And then we have to get these kind of up like so. And in fact, I'm not 100% sure. When we get to the point that we plug them in, we'll know if we have it all positioned properly. Then we can put these wings back in here when we're done messing around with all this head stuff that's going to go on. And we are going to open up these side pieces here. Let's go ahead and take this out. And we're going to fold the head down, the whole mechanism, fling it around. Get a little more access to this, and then if we got in the right spot here, we can tab in these pieces here to get that to work. And is that tabbed in? I think that's about right. We have these. Let's close up this backpack. Top one first, and then the bottom one first, top one second, and get this closed up. Which is really a lot to go around all this. And there it is. It's a little flex in the old plastic there. Now we're going to get down here to the legs. And they do a lot of crazy stuff too. So this is fun. I'm going to lift this up and then fold it out to here, and this is going to come out. I've got to get this toe out of the way here. Toe's going to come up and sit in here. Then we are going to have to position. So we got the wheels facing down. This has to have wheels facing down also. And then this comes up to cover up this. So we're getting it positioned to do some grandiose stuff here, where, make sure we got it all correctly here. It's going to come up and around and over like so. Go into here. We're going to come down here, we're going to close this bottom part here up, but you need to rotate the headlight around and then close this bad boy up. And we've started to form one side of it, and then we're going to take this arm here. Well, this is the tricky part. You have the slider, but you have to make sure they go forward. So when we were back at this point, so I'm just going to get that back the way it should be, and then we'll get back to this. Here's where we left off, and yeah, it was kind of silly that I didn't push those forward out of the way there. Let's go ahead and tab this in, and then we can get this aligned down, and then this is going to tab a tab into that slot, and then we're going to fold this up to sort of fill the gap a little bit right there. And then there's a lot of joints to make this look a little bit better. And then there it is. We're going to do the other side and be right back. All right, so the only real difference between the other side is that trying to fold this other piece around while that's in there and then getting to it to close it up. And we're pretty much there. This little flap here tabs into this slot right there. And then that's kind of the way you know you got it right. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. But there it is in its alt mode. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. And here it is. It's a lot of transforming, and you see quite a bit of kind of gappage with it. Even though they have fillers, there's gappage. But it gets the job done. It's not really too bad. And I think they really did a good job on the front end, cleaning the front end up really well. But I don't think the back end is as clean. But still, it's not bad. It's something that no one else is doing. That's one thing that we'll commend DX9 for, going after figures that no one else is doing. But would I keep it in this alt mode? I wonder if I push this up. That'll help it too. Would I keep it in this alt mode? I don't know. With that flap, I figured it would have a little bit more movement in that missile than it does. But it's got paint. Well, I mean, the whole thing's painted, but it's got like window paint, and then it's got paint on these rims there, which is kind of cool. Front headlights are painted, so it looks like you've got quite a good paint job. Quite interesting stuff. Does look, I guess, cartoony, but let's bring it in for some comparison, see what's going on there. Here it is next to a G1, missing absolutely everything, but that's that. I never really cared about the character, to tell you the truth, so I never went after parts or anything for it, but just have it floating around, so why not take a look at it? And there it is next to a whole bunch of other, mostly Magic Square in here, I think. I think this is the only New Age, I believe. But yeah, I mean, you'd expect it to be bigger than all these. That seems about right. All right, getting into the bird mode, we can remove this missile, set it aside. Now, I do want to point out that I forgot to plug the motor in. It is a vehicle. It could use some little Power Master motor in there. But, alas, forgot to put that in there. Okay, let's get into the transformation of this guy. We're going to untab all this stuff. Untab this arms, get them up out of the way. Untab this from the side here, and we're going to lift it up, get the bird leg up, fold this cover over the wheels, and then get the foot out of here, fold this thing in to here, and then we want to flip this around and then get this bird leg up all of the way. And then we want to get this foot here. Let's get it adjusted so it's got to slide up, and it'll come up and just tab in to this. Now my tabs might be tight because of the paint, but it's going to tab into this piece right here. So it leaves it looking something kind of like that. We can do the same thing on both sides. Now we got it on both sides. You flip it over, you start looking, okay, it's starting to feel like the bird mode. So we got to do a few things, of course, and we can do it all pretty much right now. Open these wings up to get clearance to start messing around with some stuff that's going on here. Let's get the bird head up the robot head tucked into the chest. And there we go. And then we can get these kind of close together. The head is not wanting to work. Okay. We can get these chest pieces closer together. We got the bird head in there. Then we're going to tab this back into the back here. It looks like we need to make sure we've got the wings behind the arms. For whatever reason, that's what it's going to take to get this clearance here, to get this to tab in. All right, so I was able to plug this into the back, but then I get to the bottom, I go, oh wait, that's not right. So just push in on this, and that's going to get it positioned right. Looked okay from one side, but not the other. Now, for this, we are going to rotate this, lift up on this a bit, and what we're doing is trying to get this tabbed in. We're going to get this tabbed into here, down here, like this. That took a bit of force off camera, but I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Here, get it plugged in, and it's really hard to do. I had to plug the other one in off camera, but there we go. We're getting this. Now we have to get this aligned up with what's going on over here. We want to get this here aligned and tabbed into this. Now just spread the wings out and get the head positioned and make sure the legs are positioned right, and you're pretty much there with the bird mode. And let's take a look at this guy. Here's the bird mode. I don't know much about the bird mode, to tell you the truth. I don't care for it. I like the way the bot looks. I like the idea of the missile launcher. I think the bird mode is just a bit much. I think they were kind of at some point running out of ideas, I guess, and they wanted to do something. But these wings they have articulation to them, so you can make them go up, down. But I mean, it's cool that it's a something, but it's a lot of work to get here, and it overcomplicated the transformation. But I guess you have to be true to the character, and that was the character. And the G1, I don't even know how to get the G1 to it, and I guarantee you I'll break the G1 messing with it, because I've already tried with it, and yeah, the G1, I would definitely break something on it. Not really concerned about that, but yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. It's definitely not worth it. It is not worth it to even go to this mode unless you have this memory from back in the day and that was your favorite mode of it or something, or you want to put it with like maybe some other characters out there, maybe your Beast Wars collection or something. So another thing you can do with this is you can put the missile on its back, and it's funny too because I've been reviewing a lot of stuff lately that I have had no history with. So for me, the first time I ever saw that G1 bird mode was today, and oh, we're gonna see it. This is kind of cool. You can put the missile on the back, and it holds on there really well, and it looks good. It adds to the look and the aesthetic of this guy, definitely. All right, here it is with some Beast Wars stuff, I guess. That sounds good, but you know, it turns out I was like, I don't really have anything worthwhile to compare it to. And so I thought for a little bit about transforming the G1. So now I'm a liar, I transformed the G1. So here we go. Let's look at the G1. I didn't want to transform it because part of the transformation, it just felt like I was going to break it if I kept trying to move the part. But then all this talk about Power Master, Optimus Prime, and everyone talking about Power Master, Power Master, Power Master, it made me realize that you can just... One of the gimmicks was you had to have the Power Master in to transform it. And somewhere in there I just pushed a button to make this piece here release, so I just pushed it manually because I don't have a Power Master to put in there. But yeah, there it is versus the G1, where we come from, where we're going, and I'm glad I did that now, because that's kind of something to see where we were is a lot of fun. It is, and we've come a long way. Which one looks better? I bet you if you had this one as a kid, you still like that one more. All right, so what do I think about this guy? I think that it is cool that they made this figure. I think it's extremely complex for a Legend scale. If it was Masterpiece, I could see it, but I was kind of expecting a little bit less complexity to it. That being said, once you get in each mode, it actually looks pretty decent in each mode. This is maybe one of the weaker modes in the bird mode, And then the alt mode, there's a little gappiness in the back, but the front is like super tight. It looks really good in the front. And the bot mode, I think, is spot on perfection. So what do I care? I care that the bot mode looks good. I like that it's painted. And yeah, that's kind of cool. There's paint everywhere on this thing. That is nice, and it shines, and I love that. But I would definitely recommend it. It's a $40 figure that does all of this. It's pretty amazing. I like DX9 making stuff that nobody else is making, so you have an option that's out there. But I did get this to Showzam. I have a link down below where you can get yours. So remember, Tydarium Hanger TH in the reviewer code. Let me know what you think about this guy. Like, subscribe. Tydarium Hanger out.